All right, we're live.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is the first episode of the Three Blades podcast, where we discuss everything from gaming to life situations and philosophy. I'm Mason. I'm from Illinois. Kind of nerdy, kind of athletic. Gonna be 20 in a couple days. And these are my friends.
I'm Eli. I'm from Missouri. I am 20 and I am awkward. You have been warned.
All right, I'm Trip. I'm from Ohio. Um, About to be 27 here in a few months. Got a couple kids, married, and I'm the philosopher of the group, the guy who thinks overly deep about everything. So there we go. I currently have gingerbread Starbucks coffee.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, dude, I love this stuff. It's addicting.
You're dirty.
I got that normal Folgers brand stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know what flavor I wanted to go for the first episode. I'm just like, what do I want to do? It was this or it was what's that other
Is
one?
that in homage to me?
Yeah, he's ginger, everybody.
Yep,
Yeah,
you're
pay
the ginger.
respects.
No, I didn't know if I wanted to go gingerbread or the brown sugar crumble.
Mm.
That's my favorite one, but gingerbread is grown on me a lot.
Yeah, I do that.
Ha 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 ha.
So we've saved it for all this time, for the most part. I mean, we couldn't help but talking about tidbits, but Halo Infinite, boys. The campaign. Spoilers ahead, for sure.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
bad.
But if you
spoilers.
if you have
Don't
not
play it.
played the Halo Infinite campaign, then don't stop listening.
All right, warning's over. Okay. Eli, what did you? Yeah, I want to hear from you first. What you thought?
Me first, oh. This is
You're the
fair.
pick your one, man. What you?
Hey man, dude, I love it. So, gameplay wise, we'll touch up on that in a second, but the story is so sad. I've never been more emotionally unwell just because I played a Halo game. Oh my god. I want to give Chief a hug, I really do. Like the
He needs
entire
one.
time. Yeah, wait, what?
He needs one.
He needs one. Like some of his lines are pretty funny, but for the most part, he's like, "Man, I don't want to do this anymore. Somebody, please help me." That's the vibe I got from it.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, one of the most emotional moments in the campaign actually got ruined for me.
Oh?
Oh,
Yeah. So okay, hang on. So I'll check this out. So the first time that I really dealt with one of those high value targets, like the I don't know, I always call them mini bosses, but
hmm
um so I was dealing with a high value target. I forget which one, but
well, I assume
I
he's like a
had
brute or something.
I had a Marine though who was with me, and I had him in the I had a Warthog, I had him in the gunner seat, and he's just lighting everything up. He's slaying away. Now, mind you, again, I played it on normal because I wasn't really looking for a challenge. I just wanted to enjoy the story, take everything in. Honestly, I should have played it on easy, but anyway. So you know that cutscene where I forget his name. Everyone calls him Brohammer.
It tells you his
But
name,
he
but
was
yeah.
yeah, but where he's having a meltdown and Chief kneels down next to him.
Oh,
It just that was such a touching moment, man. He was so it was so emotional. Well, my Marine was in the background of that cutscene in the Warthog. and he found some enemies. And so during the entire dialogue, he's just blasting his chain gun turret, lighting everything up. And I'm like, dude, stop, please. Like, this is the most emotional moment so far. Please, would you stop killing everything?
Did you
Just wait a minute.
did any of his dialogue come up in the middle of it?
No,
Was
he didn't give any dialogue quips or anything. He was just silently slaying everything from on top of the ridge that you're on or whatever. I'm just shooting down at everything, and it's sporadic too. He's just, oh my god. I was like, I made a big mistake.
You should have recorded it.
Yeah, definitely. I never had any weird glitchy cutscene moments like that. About the only thing that I can relate to on that score is the start of the game when you meet the first berserker brute. When he rips open the door and throws that thing next to you. I had my pistol out before the cutscene started, and this dude muscles the door open, rips a piece of it off, and chucks it at me, and then it comes up to Chief, and he's just sitting there all crowded up, both hands on his little pistol, and I'm like, this is awkward.
I was really... Go on.
Well, yeah, no, you go. I think you're about to say the same thing.
No, I'm not. I promise.
Okay. Well, I was intimidated. Like, when you first encounter that brute in the very beginning that just sprints at you, those berserkers or whatever, I flipped out. I had no idea what to think, because you're used to brutes berserking in Halo 2 or even Halo 3 to some extent, but those guys are fast. I mean, they are really, really, really fast, and they the way they sprint at you, their arms are flailing everywhere while they're charging you.
I don't know how I feel about the upright sprinting versus the ape the ones in Halo 2, how they were on all fours. I don't know which one I like more.
Is much scarier.
I'm kind of leaning that way too, because I mean, especially when you watch his feet, he is he's nearly bounding because he's got such a wide stride, and
coming for you.
Yeah, he's covering so much distance, all for the purpose of ripping your head off.
Jeez, those things probably run at 40 miles an hour.
That's an angry bull.
Serious. Scary, dude. And the first time you see it, you don't know what it's capable of. You think it's like a boss monster, dude.
Right. You unload all your ammo as quick as you can, not knowing that they're actually they're not easy to kill per se, but they're just normal enemies. Yeah. So when you go overkill on them and realize that they don't pose as much of a threat as you thought, you just kind of sit back and you're like, man, that's not okay.
You just I don't know, I had a needler at the time, so the needler just wipes them. But
yeah. I'm glad that's continued.
Yeah, the unshielded enemies, the needler takes care of. Well, sometimes brutes usually take two super combines on heroic sometimes. I do also in the cutscenes, it doesn't let's say you're holding a rocket, and then all of a sudden you're now holding an AR for the cutscene.
Right.
It keeps the weapon you're holding, and that's cool. That's a detail that I like to see.
I do too. And luckily, they actually, because they intended for that to be, you don't get any weird weapon clipping or anything. It fits.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy that as well. But
it was pretty. Huh.
Go ahead.
It was pretty. When I first saw that brute, though, I was definitely really impressed because with Halo 2 and even Halo 3, I mean, Halo 2, I really didn't like fighting the brutes very much because I felt like they were too hard to kill. And there was no I don't know. They felt too hard. I didn't feel like it. Uh, I don't know how to explain it. It's like it didn't feel authentic. It felt like they were just overly difficult in a way that just didn't feel realistic enough. I mean, maybe I'm weird about that, and that's okay. But
Well, no, it's like
but they weren't that interesting to fight either.
when we were trying to do our no deaths run, and we were fighting those brutes on that last on the mission with where you come back from the grave mine as the arbiter, and all those times we fought those brutes. I mean, how many times did they just hit us when they shouldn't have, or we punch them in the back and all they do is whip around and like not feel it, or you go to punch them and it like doesn't connect. Like it was just janky.
Yeah. Well, the brutes in Halo 2 I didn't really enjoy fighting, and in Halo 3 I didn't have a problem with them, but like they weren't the elites. Like they were interesting enough that like I didn't hate them. It didn't feel like fighting, Prometheans in Halo 4. Um but they weren't they weren't that entertaining for me to fight in Halo 3. They were just okay. I wasn't for or against it. It was fine. It was just whatever. Kind of bland to me. But in the campaign, the moment, like for Infinite, the moment that one brute just starts sprinting at you, and I saw that, I was like, I mean, I was terrified, but there was a part of me that immediately recognized, like, okay, these guys are going to be fun to fight in this game. And sure enough, they were. I found them very entertaining to fight. I didn't feel like they were too stagnant or not diversified enough. Because what in Halo 3, um, the camo ones don't really do all that much, and they they move kind of fairly quickly. They're not super slow. You can tell where they are fairly easily. At least I could. The standard brutes weren't very interesting. For me, there was just the regular ones, basically. The jetpacking brutes and the chieftains. Like, those were the only three categories that really felt that diverse from each other. Like, I had to, really do something different to take them out. And, in Infinite, I felt like there was a whole lot more diversity, and they were a lot more engaging and entertaining to fight, and I really liked that.
For sure. I something that I keep coming back to and keep really appreciating is visual clarity um, between the enemies. The elites are back to their really bright, distinguished armor and colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the brutes now, they're way more satisfying to fight. And the snipers, they have that weird helmet with the eye on it, and so it's really easy to tell.
Like a
And
staff
they'll go
on the
down with
back.
just a headshot. Yeah, they do. But those can go down easy with a headshot. It's like when you see the enemies, you know who they are and how to take them down, and then you can choose how best to go about it.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
In heroic, the sniper brutes, they take 2 shots to kill, like one with the battle rifle to remove the helmet, and then one to kill him. But they've got skewers. Like, god damn. Then there's a large number. There's not just a few snipers every now and then. There's usually like 4 of them at the same time, and I never got killed by a skewer wielding brute just because they have like that red laser sight, so it more or less told me, where they're aiming at. But why are there so many with skewers? That's not okay. Goddamn.
So
Yeah, jackals, there's like 2 at a time. Jackal snipers, normally. There's always like 2, at least.
I was actually I was slain by a jackal sniper. and I was also on
Oh,
normal. Eli was the only one who did
Mm-hmm.
heroic.
Yeah, I got killed by jackal snipers a couple times. I got skewered by a brute
Never got skewered.
once or twice. I did. Now, granted, it was like from the side, so I
Hmm.
didn't see it coming. But oh man, it took me a minute to figure out what killed me because I didn't know there was one right away. Um, I just like where there's like that pop sound for your death animation all the time. I had that and I was just out of my character like in third person suddenly and I'm like, what the hell? It took me a minute to figure out what it was.
That always scares the hell out of me
it's
whenever that happens.
really intense when you're in the arena, where Esherin puts you in that arena.
Oh,
If you guys
Mm-hmm.
remember, and I was on the second
Yeah.
wave,
how could I forget?
and he throws a bunch of skewer, the sniper brutes, kind of all around
Yep.
the map,
Uh-huh.
and he chucks two berserking brutes, and then one with a shield at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like after you kill, I think one of the berserking brutes, he spawns a few more. And the berserking brutes aren't usually hard, but you have to dodge skewers at the same time.
Yeah, he
Now you can
literally
either
sent his
do
dogs
that,
to flush you out,
yeah,
and then like the hunters stood there and were ready to snipe you.
yes. And I had such a hard time doing that mission because I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna kill the berserkers first. No, no, that didn't work out. And then I'm like, all right, I'll kill the skewers first, the sniper brutes first. No, that didn't work out either. So I shut off the game. Had a snack.
I can relate to that so hard with doing all the MCC campaigns on Legendary. I had to take breaks for my mental health.
And I came back and I did it. It was still hard though. Goddamn.
There you go.
That's like for taking out that Jaga, the like elite assassin.
Uh,
Oh god.
Dude, I thought that fight was going to be so hard on normal because the other ones were hard. I mean for normal standards, right? For just the normal difficulty, a lot of those bosses were kind of hard. And I struggled with several of them just on normal. And maybe it was because I was trying to just get through the content. I wasn't looking for the challenge. So I'm sure that probably affected the gameplay style that I was running with. I was probably doing way too much run gun without thinking about cover and stuff like that. Probably, I don't know. I'm sure, but anyway, I thought that Jaga was going to be so difficult, so I spent 6 missions or so just walking around with an energy sword. Just a full 100% energy sword in my back pocket, just keeping it for like those 6 missions. And like, because I never knew when I was going to be fighting him, and the anticipation was so high. And then I saw the cutscene. Um, well, I actually figured I would be fighting him in there because that scene was horrific. Like,
mm,
I've never seen something like that in a Halo game. It was dark and creepy, and there was the water dripping sounds, and then the echo of the like the calm thing or whatever.
yeah, that I don't think I've ever
Fernando's like
actually.
kid message, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
it was
ever
so
actually
eerie.
experienced like that much unease in a Halo game before. But that was one of those
Yeah.
like I felt like I was in Outlast for a second. I was like, oh god.
I like how it Jaga he matches up with the Echo log or whatever. With the kid when the mother tells the kid to say goodbye, Jaga's also like say goodbye.
Oh, I didn't get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, he lines it up with the kid's voice. It's creepy. Um, for me, I couldn't kill him. Uh, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use energy sword. And I'm gonna use thruster pack. We're gonna have a brawl in the dirt. I couldn't do it. I had to skate around, and I'm like, dude, I'm never gonna kill this. So I had to use the threat detector, the pulse dart. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I had to use that. Uh,
I mean, yeah, he
just
just
to find
keeps.
out where he is because when he goes invisible, he doesn't like run off. I think he teleports away and then
Yeah,
comes
I'm pretty
back
sure.
at you from another angle. He I think he does disappear fully and comes at you from another angle. But
Yeah, when
oh my god, you can't see him at all, and he goes back, regenerates his shield, and he's back at you with that scary ass red energy sword. Oh
felt so good to take that
Jesus.
from him.
Yes, I killed
Mm-hmm.
Escharam with that.
So did
I think
I.
we all did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I killed him with my energy sword, which again was actually on normal at least. It was very easy to do. It took me only a few hits. And like I don't even know if I took any damage. I might have gotten hit like once, I'm not sure. But as soon as he died, like I found out I could take his red energy sword. And I did, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna kill Eshram with this. Like that was my thought. Like this is what I'm gonna use to deal the death blow, and I did, and it was so satisfying.
Mm. Yeah, when I first walked into Jago's fight, I was I was actually walking around because I didn't see the comm unit on the floor. Like I knew there was like a green light, but I thought that was just ambient. Like so I was running around and of course the door locks behind you, right? So
Mm.
I was straight up sweating, like stressing, like I didn't know what was happening. Like he didn't come out, he wasn't saying anything. This creepy echo is just reverberating around me in this dark complex. And I'm just like, where is he? Oh my god. And
Okay, I'll admit to it as well. I never saw the little indicator thing, so I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I spent like 5 minutes,
yeah,
just
man.
the longest 5 minutes of my life, just creeping around that area trying to figure out a way out and not ever finding one. And then thinking that like Jaga was probably in there and gonna ambush me at some point, and I was terrified. I had no idea what to do, and it just kept, the echo kept replaying and replaying, and it was so creepy. And the longer I was doing it, the more worried I got.
Well, and just it was so just shocking because I remember when I first heard that recording at the beginning when Fernando had it, and the little kid was like, "I love you, Daddy." I was like, "Oh, that's so cute. He must miss his kid." And then I'm sitting here hearing it in this darker room, waiting for an assassin to come spread my cheeks, and I'm like, I need to not be hearing this right now. I need to not be hearing this.
Yeah, I when I walked in there, I saw it right away because the game kind of programs you to like, oh, follow the green light, and pick it up or whatever.
Mm.
Well, you're
But
smart,
it was
so.
kind of hard to see him, like, because it's not like it doesn't have that pulsing bright green. It is just like a little item on the ground. So I do go up to it. And I'm like, what is that? Like a hologram thing? It's not like the other Spartan cores. So I picked it up. And I'm like, oh, Fernando, what have they done to you?
God.
And
Yeah,
the his intro cutscene, Jaga's intro cutscene.
Dude, yeah.
you mean at the beginning, like when you very first see him?
Okay, that's his intro cutscene, but the one of the fight,
Oh
the
yeah.
fight. Jeezums.
Well, okay, I do want to talk about when we first see him though, because I
Yeah.
thought my game was breaking. Like I thought like the textures hadn't loaded, and there was like when that brute got his arm wrenched behind him and he was thrown onto the table. I thought the guy behind him was like disappeared, like he wasn't loaded in, and then it passed through the shimmer, and I got chills. I was like, oh, that's not a
Yep.
glitch. So that
Fucking
was that was awesome.
Yeah, when I saw Jaga in the fight scene, like I think because I ran around the room trying to figure out what was going on for so long, I was honestly more relieved to finally see him, because at least now I knew what I was dealing with.
Right.
Yeah, at his core, he is just a sword elite. Um, Actually, no, he's not. He runs away. He's got pretty much permanent camo. He's got 2 weapons, too.
Oh my god! And how
Yeah.
fast the camo like reactivates for these guys? It is so fast, and like if you're not pumping shot after shot after shot, they will disappear right in front
Yeah,
of you.
you're gonna lose him.
That made for some worrisome moments. But I had to use the threat sensor too, and I was armed with a bulldog and an AR.
Yeah, my AR got out of ammo. I didn't from the last part of the gauntlet. I'm like, I've just got this sword, man. That's all I got.
Did
We're going to town. Going
when
fisting
did
us.
you ever get to sword clash?
Sword?
Like
No.
did your swords bounce off each other?
No.
Ah.
I don't think AIs can do. I don't think Sword Clash is in Halo Infinite.
It is.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, you and I did it, remember? In the
Okay, yeah.
custom
Okay.
game where we
I
were
didn't.
testing out weapon stuff.
Yeah, I didn't remember. But I guess it never happened to me in campaign.
Mm.
But yeah, no, I didn't remember that we did do that. So yeah, I guess it is in multiplayer, but not in campaign, maybe.
So speaking of running out of ammo in the middle of a fight, the first time I met the banished hunters.
Oh, the blue ones,
Oh
or
no, the metal, the red and steel ones.
got it.
That was a pants wetting moment for me. And I didn't see him at first either. I just heard them. Like I heard the roar and I knew it was them, and I was like, oh god. Okay, that's cool. Where are they? And then all of a sudden this just torrent of red plasma came like stitching at me through the trees. And I just started booking it in one direction. They were so hard to get around. I ran out of ammo so fast and had to actually leave the area and come back later to kill them. It's freaking terrifying.
When you
Yeah,
first go on.
Mhm.
No, go on.
No, you go. I was
Okay.
gonna change.
So when you first see the blue ones at like the bottom of the spire, I think it's the big spire that the Harbinger creates or whatever. There's just two greenish blue hunters, and I fought them, and it was hard. I'm like, yeah, man, that's really fun. And then later on, I find red hunters. I'm like, oh shit. All right, like hunter majors. All right, let's see if they have a different weapon. They don't really have a different weapon. It's about the same weapon as regular hunters, but it deals more damage. And they're so loud. I accidentally had the audio on really loud. I didn't know it until they yelled at me.
God.
Oh my god, they're almost unfun to fight because I died so many times. At least on heroic, they're almost unfun to fight because they beat you mercilessly.
I can't imagine what they're like on heroic, because even on normal, whenever I was fighting them, I didn't run out of ammo because I missed my shots. I ran out of ammo because I couldn't get behind them. Which I think it's really interesting because of the contrast to the other games. So Halo Reach, right? I don't really respect the enemies very much, especially not the hunters. As soon as I see a pair of hunters, I mean, I don't even have to have a shotgun. I will just go up and start dodging and weaving and punching them in the back every time they try to hit me. I didn't even
they're
think.
slow, like whatever.
Yeah, I didn't think once about attempting that with these guys. Like I stayed way.
Yeah, I didn't want to get
out.
near them.
It was just a no-go.
I had the myriad, those special red hunters.
Mm-hmm.
I had to
Yeah.
come back with the with the marine with a rocket launcher. I couldn't do it. I had to go get backup and kill him.
Dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mason. I had a habit of driving a Razorback stocked with like 5 Marines with snipers.
Oh.
Just all of them with snipers, and they
Yeah,
would
that sounds
just
like you.
decimate everything.
Did you guys get the Sentinel beam, the arcane Sentinel beam?
No.
Okay.
Wait, oh yeah, you
That
did. That's
thing,
from. Where do you get that?
it's from one of the targets.
I don't
One
think so.
one of the assassination targets has it. If you don't have it, you should go try to find it and get it, because that thing, if you arm an entire Marine squad and fill a Razorback with them, nothing will stand in your way. It absolutely disintegrates everything.
Gonna have to try it
That's
now.
funny.
So much fun.
Yeah, um all in all though, like the campaign, like the way that it was set up was incredibly emotional. And
Mm.
I did like the story a lot. I know it's a controversial take, I suppose, maybe, and maybe it is. The I know I've said before a little bit, I mean, the open world, I wasn't a
Mm.
huge fan of the way that they did the open world. I don't have a problem with it. I like it. It's just I don't love it. I think uh the main missions are kind of similar to what you would expect from Halo, and I thought that was okay. I prefer that, but the whole open world aspect just kind of felt very um, kind of redundant, honestly. Like, go here, take out this target, go there, capture that base, go here, save this Marine squad, or find the Spartan core or locker. It's like the same, um, kind of the same thing, just over and over and over and over. It's not like there's like um, like little mini quests or anything. It's not like when you're in Skyrim and the you see like the hunter dying on the um out in the brush, and he's like telling you that in that cave, all of his friends, I forget the quest, but you know what I mean, where he's got like a band of hunters he was with or something, I think,
Yeah,
Hmm.
something like
and they
that.
all die inside, and then you can go like deal with it or like avenge them. None of it felt like that.
No, I certainly won't disagree that the open world was a little odd, especially because the campaign proceeded just like the missions. It was
Hmm.
mission based, just like the previous games. It's just you
Yeah.
could choose when you started them. So I won't disagree, but it didn't take from my experience at all, which I'm
No,
thankful
me
for.
neither. That's what I'm saying. I don't. I liked it. I just didn't love it because I felt like it could have been a bit more, but I didn't have any real problem with it. And for the first time of them doing it, I mean, yeah, like I'm okay with it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The dude, okay, so that scene though where you find out that Cortana kills Atriox's homeworld, like just obliterates it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, oh my.
I feel like that scene could have been a bit more powerful, but Atrax doesn't seem to be a very reactive guy. You know, he
No, it
doesn't.
kind of just festers
He kind of
with him.
just sits there, thinks about it long and hard. He does. You
Yeah.
know.
That actually is what kind of made it so terrible. Well, when I say terrible, I don't mean like bad or not welcome or not good. I just mean like his revenge on Cortana, or when he tries to take his revenge, it's like she's threatening him, and he's just replying with, "Yeah, I know the consequences, but do you?" And then
Yeah.
he actually corners her at like near the end, like in all those audio or those like fragments that you keep running across and you see it. It's like the fact that his revenge did come no matter what, or that his yeah
What was his revenge? Beating
reprisal
up
was
Chief,
inevitable.
right? That was his revenge. Was like taking out.
No, I'm pretty sure that him going after Cortana was after the attack on the Infinity. Right?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't
I
remember.
I thought his revenge against Cortana was he like decimated the UNSC and like from what he could
No, no,
tell
no, no.
killed
Because
John.
he got her. Like he took. Like he had her pinned,
I don't
and
quite
then
remember it.
he was kind of like reaming it in her face that they were taking her out.
Right. I think.
Not to banish, but like that the UNSC had her trapped and were taking her out.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what he was talking about with like, that I forget how he put it, but basically that she was being destroyed by the people who made her.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. I did not expect the campaign to be as great as it was.
I was very happy with it for a lot of
It
reasons.
needed that. It
Oh
really did need
God.
that.
After the train wreck that was Halo 5's campaign, and just for many different reasons, this was an amazing, like just fresh breath of air.
Uh-huh.
And how did you guys like the soundtrack?
It was great, dude. It was
Because
absolutely great.
I thought you turned off your music in games.
No, I turned off the menu music.
yeah, the
Okay.
menu, like the
I have
multiplayer
to turn
music.
off menu music. It gets annoying
Yeah, it
when I
does.
hear the same track 20,000 times.
The music I don't really remember much of it, except for the parts where it plays the main theme. The music definitely helps with the atmosphere. But you guys, I do
Oh yeah.
love how I do love how there is a tank mission. There's a Scorpion mission,
There
essentially.
is.
Yeah.
If only
And
there
my
was a Warthog
Marines were murked. My Marines never survive anything. They didn't even get to the Scorpion.
run. Oh,
Um, and it was great. Did your Marines say tank beats this, tank beats that? Did they say that?
no.
No, they didn't. Oh man, I was
No, I
kind
don't think
of
they did.
worried that I was missing out on Marines saying tank beats Wraith, tank beats Hunters. From what is that from? That's from Halo 3, right?
Halo 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, they did a lot of, shout outs to some of the other games.
Yeah, they did.
That was really cool.
So,
The personality. Yeah.
oh no, it's gone. You reminded me of it. Now it's gone.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. Gone.
It wasn't important anyway. Okay. But the personality they give Chief, whenever you first meet a Scorpion in that salvage yard area,
hmm
Cortana's not Cortana. You know what I'm talking about. She's like, oh, they've got a M whatever Scorpion here. If you like that sort of thing, and Chief's like, oh, I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
So we know what
So,
Chief likes.
Before I forget, I was thinking about this, but so I actually found out something. This is kind of off topic, but so I guess they finally announced for Titanfall 1 that they're not doing anything about it anymore. I don't think they shut the servers down, but they it's definitely not getting any more support whatsoever.
Wait, Titanfall 1?
Titanfall 1, yeah.
I didn't realize there was a problem there.
Well, remember the hacker
It's
that
unplayable.
I thought
yeah,
Titanfall
it was unplayable.
I thought Titanfall 2 was the only one that got hit. I didn't think the first one got hit at all.
But no, it started with the first one on
Oh.
PC.
Oh.
Yeah, they're done with it now. They've totally announced that they're done with it.
Jeez.
Like that's
crazy.
shut down. But they did. I guess they're stopping. They're not selling the game anymore. They finally decided
Good.
that they're going to stop selling a game that is unplayable due to hackers. Well, one hacker that we know of, really.
That's just insane to me that like technology is so good for us at home that somebody who's just salty about a game can ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox
Yeah,
kind of
so,
like
well,
Xbox
hang
One
on.
kind of launched with Titanfall.
So, for anybody watching that is not aware exactly of what's going on, basically Titanfall, the franchise, owned by Respawn and therefore also EA, launched their Titanfall game on multiple platforms, including PC, but the PC platform specifically got attacked by a specific hacker that I guess like people call John Yu or Genu or something like that. And the guy like flooded the servers with bots and things that essentially made it to where you couldn't get into games at all. Not like it would just bounce you out of games, but you literally couldn't even get in one. And it stayed that way for years, making it effectively unplayable on PC. But despite that, the game has still been sold to people who obviously then get the game, bring it home, find out like, oh, I can't play it, and nothing ever got really done about that. Then the same thing started happening to Titanfall 2, and that game is still going, but its community is almost gone because it's the game's basically unplayable most of the time. And then of course even their newer, it's not new, but their newest addition to the Titanfall franchise being Apex Legends has also been hit. And
But they fixed it right
at
away.
least they fixed that right away because it's their golden goose. But they get all their money from Apex. But now, I mean, I have mentioned before, I don't have a problem with the fact that they have stopped supporting the Titanfall franchise, really, because I think, as individual human beings, they have the right to create the games they want to create and support the games that they want to support. And if they're done, not saying they are, but if they are done with a specific franchise, I think it's more than fine for them to, quit and do something different, or, if they want to follow the money, wherever that leads, they're free to do so. I don't think they have any responsibility to make the specific kind of games that we merely want them to make. However, if you are going to sell broken games that you basically can't play, and they know it and refuse to do anything about it, but they still want to sell it anyway, I feel like that's pretty fucked up. But I guess finally they've officially announced that they're done with Titanfall 1. So who knows how long until Titanfall 2 probably gets the same treatment.
And that's a serious shame for me personally, because I really did fall in love with the first Titanfall, like back on 360 before I ever got a One, and I only got an Xbox One, a couple years after it released, and when I learned they were making a sequel and that the sequel would have a real campaign, and then when I got to play it, when I fell in love with the campaign, I mean, I love Titanfall 2. I've played it so much now that I don't play it as often, but to see it treated like that is
Yeah.
really, really unfortunate and saddening.
Well, and it's crazy for me because you introduced me to Titanfall 2. That was like my intro to the Titanfall franchise, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I've never played the campaign. I just only really played the multiplayer of it, but I played a lot of the multiplayer of it, and it became one of my favorite shooters to play, and like it was definitely my second favorite shooter game to play.
Hmm.
And like to just out of nowhere have this problem show up in Titanfall 2 where, now it's hacked all the time, unplayable, and everyone's lagging out of games constantly or unable to even find games due to, crappy server issues all of a sudden. That was crazy to just, you know, get the whole game just taken from me
Hmm.
and sit around in this state of, helplessness when you can't do anything about it yourself and the company won't do anything for you to help you with the game that you bought. It's crazy.
Yeah, Titanfall was especially good for me and my playstyle because I'm not a COD player. Um, the reaction shooters don't interest me, but I play Halo very fast paced.
Mhm.
Titanfall was a really happy medium between those, where it focused on movement and allowed you to, wall run and jump across the map and use grapple, which was an amazing addition. But
Mhm.
uh, yeah, it was such a happy medium that I could play something kind of like COD, but you didn't die near as fast, and you could outmaneuver people. And
Well, I think you die as fast, if not maybe faster. But my thing is that like I'm not really into COD, and I'm not really big on reflex shooters, um, or like what do they call it, Twitch shooters or something like that. I don't know, but
oh, I've never heard that. But
anyway, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But Titanfall provided this crazy experience, unlike any other game I'd ever played. I mean, I don't know of any other shooter game, where I'm like flying through the air across map and grapple hooking things and swinging off buildings like Spider-Man, while massive, you know, robotic titans are brawling each other beneath me. It was crazy. It just gave me this experience unlike any other that I'd ever seen.
that was another thing, was the Titan combat was it slowed things down and gave you a very different feel, and was still just as fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that game just got absolutely just swept under the rug after all the hacking, which which just
What
blows.
weren't you saying that you had something you were gonna like ask about?
Um,
I mean, huge change of topic. It's not even gaming, but
yeah. So a kind of funny thing, and God, I have no idea how this is gonna be received. But I was talking to my mother's boyfriend. His name is Chris, and I'm probably gonna mention him, every now and then. So try to remember that. But Chris and I were talking because we talk about stuff too, kind of like how we do. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, I was just in the kitchen, and he came in. He's like, he just started talking to me about how he saw one of his old buddies, and the guy was doing really well for himself, got out of a lot of trouble or whatever, and he said, I walked up to him and I was like, hey, give me a high five. He was like, what? I said, just give me a high five. And he did, and he was like, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. I don't think guys get enough high fives. And I just want you to know, I just want someone to give you some positive reinforcement there. And then he also showed me a TikTok. I cringe at saying TikTok. I don't know why. Anyway, um, he's like a 40-year-old man. He's got TikTok, but
A lot of people do.
yeah, a lot of people do. I'm not judging, but he showed me one where this girl was like, men, how many times did you ever turn to somebody when you were at your lowest point? And there was a bunch of people answering, yeah, nobody cares. I'm a dude. It's like the main topic was like, guys don't get high fives and are definitely expected to figure out their own stuff and not need help. It's sad. It's unfortunate because it breeds a lot of reckless, close-hearted people.
Yeah. Um. I mean, so in today's time, obviously, well, it's been this way for some length of time as it is, but we do have a hyper competitive structure to our society now, and men are often expected to just, you know, get shit done, figure it out, be the man. And it's not like there's, this grand guide as to how to always do that. And certainly there's a lot of lacking for appreciation in what has, gone on in the making of our social structure and the world as we know it today. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there aren't men that cause trouble. I'm not saying that there aren't men that are degrading to people or toxic or whatever. But, like, at the same time, we have houses, we have indoor plumbing, we have, public transportation, we have all sorts of different things, and most of these things were made by men. The the skyscrapers we have mostly made by men, and the a lot of the social structure we have mostly made by men. Well, when I say social structure, I just mean like our economic structure, right?
Mm.
The way all that's going. Um, not not everything is like that. I mean, there are plenty of women running incredibly successful and very competitive companies as well. So I don't mean it like men are dominating everything, but there's a lot of hard work that has gone into things by men, and they don't really get the appreciation that they ought to. Just in the same way how U.S. soldiers, for example, don't make a lot of money in comparison to certain other professions or other things that people do uh, for their lives, and they don't get compensated equally to that. Like they're definitely underpaid. I think so are police officers and firemen and other such dangerous jobs. And it really kind of sucks. And men, I think one of the best things I heard was I don't know who said it, but I think I've said this before to you guys. I don't remember, but that women are often seen as sex objects and men are often seen as success objects.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
And it really sucks. And I mean today, look at how many men are just diving into video games and things like that to try and trying to escape from it all. And I mean, to some extent, can you blame them? I mean, there's not a lot of it doesn't seem like there's a lot of help going around.
I mean, no, not really.
But I mean, women are lost too. Like that's the thing. I mean, it's not just men. Women have their own struggles as well. I mean, God, can you imagine? Um, like look at so men are required to work all the time, and we're supposed to like give everything up for our jobs, and we're supposed to be making as much money as possible and just being the go-getter and doing all the hard things and stuff like that. But like women, if like they gotta get jobs as well. They have to, make their own money, make their own living, that sort of thing. But then they also have to have, kids, and of course, women, most of them seem to have the drive to have kids. Um, and I mean, look what happens with that. You have kids, you want to spend time with your kids, but you also want and need to work your job. And if you stay home with the kids too much, all of a sudden you're a lazy person that's not putting enough effort into their job or career. But then if they put too much into their job and career, then all of a sudden they're a terrible parent that shouldn't have had kids, and and then you feel guilty both ways. Like what do you
How
want to
do
be?
you
Do you want to be
win?
lazy, or do you want to be a neglectful parent? What do you want to be? Because you're gonna get seen as one or the other.
But he told that to me, and yeah, I thought it was interesting because I mean he's right. Most people, see someone doing well, and they just be like, oh well, you know, they don't realize the work put into having done well. They don't see it. They just, yeah, it happened, whatever. And he started talking to me about Sean Kennedy. Oh god, I just full name dropped. Whoops. Anyway, um, which is one of his friends. He's a wait. He's oh wait. What exactly would I do as a title? He's a personal trainer. He has trained kids who went on to become Olympic contestants and like medalists. Like
Hmm.
this is how good he is, and this is how much he knows. I had the privilege to train with him for a couple of months, and he gave me a really good, solid physical base to build off of, and I will never forget that that's where I started. And Chris was telling me that there have been kids who he's done that for, his own off of his own time to help them grow and develop and become, smart about weight training and lifting and exercising, and they just completely forget about him. And like he did nothing. And I
Yeah.
just he told me that, and it kind of broke my heart. I was like, man, that's just bogus. He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is though. You get you get somewhere, you start finding some success, you kind of forget where you came from. A lot of people do. They just get caught up in the moment. I mean, not everybody wants to go out of their way to, neglect the people who helped them, but at the same time, sometimes they just get caught up, which doesn't make it any less, annoying. But
Get some hair in your chest, and now you know everything.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
I mean, but
mean,
some people they just get greedy.
yeah, too. I could definitely understand being busy and being caught up and just being swept away. Yeah, it's annoying because it feels like it's still somewhat of an injustice, like just forgetting how you got there. But it's easy for it to happen, for those things to sweep you away. I mean, another person who really helped me. If I ever make it, in the stunt industry, because I like parkour and free running and doing flips and stuff like that. That's what I really want to do. That's where I just get the most amount of joy like physically. Um, Yeah, if I ever make it, I never want to forget my gym teacher, even, who I had to convince to let me train in my school's gym. And, a lot of my growth and development happened in school because of him. And
Hmm.
it would just feel wrong to not, give him credit.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so this is pretty controversial. Um, I'm sure it will be, but on the flip side, like, so think about with parents, right? If you if you had good parents, or what you consider to be good parents, and you go someplace, yeah, you like, um, how do I organize this? So basically, I think it's good to acknowledge where you came from, no matter what,
Mhm.
and to respect where you came from, no matter what. Because, for example, yeah, if you have good parents, and cool, you had good parents and you learned a lot from them and that helped in your success, but at the same time, and I'm not saying, like, by no means am I saying let's just glorify abusive parents, but I think it's important to recognize the usefulness and the wisdom that you've gained from anything, so like, I know obviously with you guys it's no secret, like, I had my really abusive upbringing, right? But it's like the things that I learned from that scenario that I went through. Um, it's like, no, I'm not here to condone uh savagely beating your children. Obviously I don't condone that, but I do think it's worth noting, though, that you gain wisdom, you gain understanding and useful tools through these experiences. And so, you know, um, while while it was a pain to have gone through, and it's something I would hope other people don't have to go through. I definitely feel that it's worth noting that I gained a lot of good things through those experiences with which I can then take to change the world. I mean, I know not everybody has a good relationship with their family, and certainly some family members are problematic and or actually abusive, but those experiences that you have can teach you a lot.
Right. Like,
And so when
it
you
just,
achieve some sort of great status, when you go out, you change the world, you do something, which I don't think it's a small victory by any stretch of the imagination. But merely becoming a decent parent yourself and starting a decent family that you raise up right. Just that. I mean, like, you did that because of the things that you went through, because of the lessons you learned from the things that you went through. And it's like, so I guess to some extent, while I wouldn't condone anything like being an abusive parent, I also don't plan to shoot down at them either. Like, oh, you piece of shit, this
mhm.
is what you did to me. Look what I became, fuck you. Like, no, I mean, not really, because it's like, at the end of the day, they still gave me something, even if they didn't mean to. They did give me something. Like, that was necessary for me to have gone through to get where I am now. I certainly have no evidence that I would have ever, gotten here any other way. I think recognition for your history is always important, and keeping that in mind, staying humble about it. I think it's really important.
Mhm. That, it's one of those things that I think can vary, though. Not everybody is capable of extracting meaning from bad, okay, quote unquote bad things like that, or experiences like that. So sometimes they don't get the same gift you got, which is, I agree with you. I definitely don't think you have to look back and be resentful about it, especially if it got you to a place or to a state of mind that you appreciate. But if you're not on that side of things, I can't imagine how people, on the other side of that fence feel. It would be interesting to talk to somebody like that.
Well, I didn't used to be there.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. I didn't used to be. I was incredibly angry for a long time about what happened to me. Like I used to hate my parents so much. But, there comes a point where, if you sit down and you think about, that's the other thing, right? Like, nobody, one of the most interesting revelations that you can have as an adult is that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. Your parents don't know. They never knew. I mean, like, yeah, they might have figured some shit out. I'm not saying they're entirely clueless about everything all the time, but they're going off a hunch. They're going off, an idea. They're hoping that things work out, and they're using their own experience, however flawed it could potentially be, as a point of reference, and they're hoping that that shit works out when they go to take an action. And that's kind of the same thing you're doing. Like, everybody feels, a lot of people though, they do. They feel like a child walking around people who know what's going on, and it's like, no, a lot of those people don't know either. They're just hoping and praying that they've got it together and that their stuff is going to work out as well. And so everybody makes a lot of mistakes, and then people have gone through things too, like what did they go through, how did that shape them into who they are now? What kind of outlook did they get from that?
I think there's two funny sides to that coin. There's, like what you said, the realization that everybody else is just winging it too,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny. And then there's another side of things, is, you know, my dad told me once when I was a kid, and I didn't understand when he said it, but I had the same lock and key moment later on. He told me, he was talking about his dad, my grandpa. He said the older he gets, the older he got, the smarter grandpa got. The older I get, the smarter he gets. And like certain things that they used to tell you when you were a kid, that you were just like, screw that, I'm not going to listen to you. I know, I know, blah blah blah. And then you grow up and you have to face that concept again, but in a completely different light, and you're like, shit, he definitely said this, but god damn it, why was he right?
Yeah.
It's just a humorous realization moment that I actually don't get tired of experiencing.
Mm. Yeah, I guess, like, okay, I don't know if the conversation has gotten convoluted at all. I guess what I was ultimately going, like, driving at, though, is the importance of gratitude, and, like, so Chris talking about how no one, no one gets the help that they need, or no one, like, gets that kind of support, or your old coach basically not getting the recognition. It's like, I think everybody, would do well to, attempt to stay humble and recognize, the importance of what they've been through and where they came from, how their life journey has come to be and what all went into that. And rather than, trying to make all these big grand decisions about, whether this person was a piece of shit, part of their journey, or whether that person was a walking gold mine of wisdom that they got to draw from. It's like all of it came together to create this experience, and I think that the most justice gets done from not really labeling all these things as, good or bad. I think that some of it worked and some of it didn't, but even what didn't work taught you that it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you always pull something from that. And so just having this kind of gratitude for whatever it is that you go through or have gone through makes you into so much of a better human being. You know, just better in that you become more open to finding wisdom from any location possible, as opposed to only from the things that you've opened up to because you deem them as being good enough to I guess be deserving of your attention. Because otherwise you miss a lot.
I think perhaps we should have disclaimed the fact that we get controversial and sometimes lost in the sauce, so to speak. We we get lost in our own topics.
I don't think this topic is controversial.
No, not this one, but well, I mean, okay,
Some of them.
It's weird nowadays when you start talking about, there's a fundamental problem with men. A lot of people feel like, men are controlling and the patriarchy. And
men are
that's a
evil.
whole another topic, but yeah. Yeah.
Did you know that the white man is Satan? In fact, true fact.
He draws a pentagram when he gets up every morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, how long have we been going, guys? Hour and 20.
Oh yeah, hour 10,
Okay,
11.
I wasn't sure when we
Something
started,
like
but yeah.
No, I don't know. It's just sometimes we talk about some crazy controversial things. It kind of all depends. I mean, like, oh God, I was talking to my wife about, like, do you guys know if Trump is planning on running again in 2024? Do you guys know anything about that? Because I still see people having, like,
I
their Trump
think he
signs
is.
out.
I think he is.
I feel like
I
he
think that
would.
is a goal of his.
I feel like that's definitely within his personality to do
I
it again.
don't think he'll get it, but he'll run for it.
Do you guys
How
still
old is
see
he?
people with their signs out?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, all the time.
tailgates, the car stickers and tailgates license plates and stuff like that.
Damn.
Yeah. How old is he at this point?
Not as old as Biden.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't really
No.
matter.
That guy. You heard him talk.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think
It's-
he knows where he is.
Sometimes I
Part of
I
the
wonder.
time.
He seems like he goes in and out about it. I don't know. I wonder if Trump would win again.
Yeah,
I mean,
have no
like, I guess
idea.
so.
It's so divided.
Full disclosure. When I didn't really get into, like, trying to learn, like, really learn about politics until the Hillary Trump election, and I thought, like, I don't mean that neither of them had any good points. I don't mean that neither of them knew anything at all about what they were doing, like, or rather that they didn't know anything about what they were doing. It's just overall, I kind of felt, the more that I dug into it, like it was a popularity contest where you were voting between two clowns.
Pretty
Like, it was just a
much.
big circus event. And so I decided I wasn't going to keep digging into it, and I wasn't going to vote because, I respect kind of the idea of voting for one over the other because you've decided that like you're gonna vote for the lesser of two evils. But for me, I'm just like, well, then I'm still voting for an evil, so not gonna do it.
The Geralt
Um,
approach.
yeah, like I'm not gonna pick one clown or over another if I'm still voting a clown into office. Like I'm not really interested in doing that, and
Hmm.
the fact that other people are like again, I'm not throwing hate at anybody over it, but if you feel like the candidate you're voting for is a clown, but you're voting for them because that clown is better than the other clown, it's like, well, then at that point you are still contributing in creating the circus. And so, like, you can't really. I mean, like, the only reason that it is even possible for there to be this big circus is because, individual people everywhere have grouped together to create one massive body of people that are ultimately willing to put up with a circus. And the only way, like, for that to change is for it starts with one person deciding that they're not willing to put up with that and then spreading the message.
Right.
And I wasn't going to be the guy who voted for that, so I quit. And I mean, Trump was not the best president we've ever had. He definitely wasn't the worst either, though. I kind of expected that things are going to be way worse than they ended up being. The guy made some mistakes, but he also had some victories. I think he might win though if he ran again. Well, okay, I guess I shouldn't say. I think he might win. I think he could. Not necessarily probable because I don't know who we'd be running against or anything like that. But
Well,
certainly,
Joe
I
Biden
know.
for one.
I don't think he would run again. Would he?
No,
Do you think he would run
I
again? Like,
I
I
don't think
definitely
they're.
don't think he should.
I don't. Uh, in history, I could be wrong, but I don't think that the current president has ever not run again if they were eligible for a second term. I don't think anyone has not done that.
I think there have. I think there have been a few who decided that one term was enough.
well, even if that's the case, I mean, I don't know that
Mm,
he, I don't know that he would. I mean, so the thing is, right? Like our
he might forget.
our history has been kind of interesting. Like when Obama got into office, like a lot of people were excited. Um, I'm not gonna pretend I know a lot about Bush. I mean, I was really little during his presidency. I don't know much about it, but I do know
W.
about Obama's. And like, here's the thing: like Obama, dislike Obama. I think most people who really look at his presidency would find it kind of uh, underwhelming, like exceedingly
Lacking.
underwhelming. And I think that a lot of people felt a little bit, disheartened by that because I mean, like, look, dude, if you guys have heard any of his speeches when he was running for office, he's a good speaker. He's a really, really good speaker, and he knows what to say, and he knows how to be inspiring, and he had a good um, he had a good campaign. I mean, he really did. He talked a good game.
Now wait, this is despite
And
all the jokes we make about Sorry, couldn't resist.
no, like, yeah, I mean, well, I'll joke about anybody, but or whatever, like anything that's funny. I mean, yeah, but God knows I've made enough carrot jokes about Trump. Um,
Where do you think carrots
annoying
come
orange. uh, but no, like I think part of why Trump got into office though was because people kind of revenge voted, honestly.
You think?
Like Yeah, I mean, so the thing about Trump is that he was very different from what we were used to getting, or like what a lot of people were used to getting, right? Because
Hmm.
he said a lot of retarded shit. I mean, he just said some stupid things, and he had no filter at all. But at the same time, like he was pretty real though. Like he was a savage, and everybody knew he was a savage, and they weren't used to a president that talked that way, right? We're used to presidents and politicians that try to keep the dirt under the rug, and well then here you have Trump picking the damn thing up and using it like a cape. I mean, it's like you know you you weren't used to seeing that. And so when he said something, I feel like people felt that they were more inclined to believe him just because he didn't have any filter. Like when he said something, you had good reason to believe that he meant it because he was real about everything. Typically, the guy just said what he thought, and you didn't feel like you needed a codex to understand what he meant by what he said, like a lot of people do with other politicians. And I think that was just really refreshing for people. Um, I think that had a lot to do with it. And Obama, of course, ran for 2 terms, and then you got Trump for his term, and now you got Biden, and I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not like a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't even like politics. So coming from a person who frankly doesn't like any of them, um I can you guys really think of anything that we've heard about that Biden has like any great win? Any like great
Uh,
move?
I
I can't think of any. I can think of a couple with Trump. I can think of
Um,
some bad moves. I can think of some good. I can't think of a single good thing,
uh,
that we would like agree on
honestly, right now,
for Biden.
I think Biden's kind of just been a big blah.
Biden. I don't know if
It's
it's like
just not that much.
good or bad for whoever, but something oil pipeline. He did something about that.
What?
Yeah, I think he stopped an oil pipeline, like a
There you go.
huge one though, from
Okay, well, wait,
Canada
wait.
to Arizona. I think it was a
He
huge one.
he did focus on COVID relief a lot, didn't he? Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? I can name one thing that I think was cool. Unemployment. He made he made it pretty hard for people who were kind of exploiting unemployment to continue exploiting it. I thought. Didn't he come out and say, like, basically tell people to go get jobs?
The only thing I know about is like people were terrified that we were going to have a bunch more shutdowns with COVID stuff, like which I guess that's a controversial one. I imagine because a lot of people are like still really big on the COVID stuff, like people are still trying to debate like the masks and how relevant that they really are, and this and that, whether you're for or against that. I don't know. I feel like the whole his whole presidency so far has been kind of a shit show,
I haven't
all
seen
things
much.
considered. And it's like, man, if that continues, especially, and I certainly don't see anything so far that makes me think that it's going to improve in some kind of drastic manner. Um, I feel like that's going to be more ammunition for anybody who might be willing to vote for Trump to do so.
Hmm.
Maybe. I
Like
Um,
I don't know.
I thought
I
that real quick, I thought that when Trump, was forced to step down because Biden won, I thought that he said that he would continue to fight for the presidency. And that might have been in relation to him thinking that the election was a fraud. Which is way controversial.
Oh
But
yeah, he
I don't
does
know if
keep
it was
saying
just
that.
about that, or if that means he's going to try to run again. But I think odds are high that he will.
Wonder if that's the new thing. All presidents are just gonna declare that the election was rigged if they lost, like Hillary did it to. Well, ironically, I think Hillary said that Trump would do it to her if it happened, and then he won, and then that's the first thing she did was claim that for herself, and then now Trump did it to Biden, and whoever loses this election, I feel like they're gonna do it too. It's new, the new pattern. I don't know.
It's fake
Shit's
news.
crazy.
It's fake
Yeah.
news.
Fake news.
God, dude, impersonating presidents is probably the funniest shit. Especially Obama.
Yeah, but dude, fake news, though, is such a problem now. Like, you can't. It's not like endlessly difficult to find unbiased news, but everybody has to put their spin on everything now.
I don't know. I only listen to our Lord and Savior Fox News. Like that is the only
Fox
Oh man,
News.
Rustable
CNN,
source.
CNN.
I mean, okay, I shouldn't say every, but I mean, I honestly don't know. Is there a single unbiased news source out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like mainstream?
I'm not sure about
The-
mainstream.
That's what I mean. I mean,
but
like that you'd normally see.
I've always watched the Today Show. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that the one that comes from New York? That airs
Yeah.
from New York?
With
I
Al
don't know much
Roker.
about it, to be honest. The
Yeah, I
only
don't know
the
much
only
about
thing
it.
I actually know about that is they did something for the movie Six Underground, which I paid attention to a lot because my favorite parkour team out there, Storer, was a part of that movie.
Wait, you have a favorite parkour team?
Not that I know any others.
Don't you?
I probably should have said that.
Wait, no, hold on, I'm confused. I didn't know parkour teams was a thing.
Oh, international, or not international, sorry. World Chase Tag. It is a competitive sport filled with
Remember that
What?
one thing that you made
parkour
fun of?
teams.
You've seen it. You've
Chase tag.
World Chase Tag. It's a game of parkour tag, and there's this big
No.
yeah.
What?
seen
yeah,
it.
it's a thing. It's cool.
Mason's shown it to you before.
I don't think I have.
Has he? I don't think he has.
Yeah, you took
I
the
don't think he
biggest
has.
shit on it.
Dude, I would remember this.
In normal trip fashion.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
but did I
you would have.
mess with him about it?
Wait,
Like, was
were you
I?
high? You might have.
Oh, was he on Oxy?
Yeah.
Not. Okay, so for the audience, he had.
Yeah.
all his
Okay,
teeth
hold on. We have
removed.
to say
Yeah.
something.
I'm like, dang, dude! I just got like.
Sorry. Okay, let's go back. Rewind a little bit. A while
Like,
ago.
whoa, there's no context here at all.
Yeah.
I totally don't sound like a drug addict, right? You know?
A while ago, our main man Trip here had all of his teeth removed and was in incredible pain because shards of teeth were still working their way out of his mouth. So he was high on oxycodone most of the time, pain medicine, and
Yeah.
he was a delight.
Yeah. I was in a terrible skateboarding accident that went badly, and I got all my teeth busted out because of the skateboarding accident.
Bullshit.
I'm just kidding. It was the car crash. Yeah, the car crash.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna change my story every single time I tell it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm serious. Anybody who asks, I'm just gonna change the story. Like, no one will know what the actual story was. But
The world may never know.
but anyway, like, yeah, dude. Oh God. Tooth
Shark
pain.
tornado really got you. May 11th.
The shark tornado, man. You gotta watch out for those.
Sharknado. Have you guys seen those movies?
No, and I never
Badly.
want to.
I haven't. Okay, real quick,
No.
what's it called? What's it called?
It's called
Parkour
World
Tag?
Chase Tag. World Chase
Oh,
Tag.
World Chase
Parkour is
Tag.
not the name.
Oh man, dude. I'm so like this is crazy. What is this? I'm gonna
Jiggling with excitement.
It's on. I'm pretty sure it's actually on ESPN as well. I just had my old coworker text me about it. Harry.
Oh, I looked it up on the wrong account. Now I have YouTube ads.
Oh, you poor baby.
I was like, what is this? What is happening?
You
I
perfect.
haven't seen YouTube ads in years. Like, what's going on?
Isn't that your brother's YouTube, Red?
Oh yeah, dude. I don't pay for that. He paid for it. And then he shares it with me. So I just reap the benefits, man.
Way to go. Who needs to buy their own Netflix account if you have a friend with Netflix?
Are you uh
I really hope you
Okay,
didn't accidentally find
He's
the wrong
cocking the
thing.
gun right now.
Guys,
yeah, I am.
flip the table.
Dude, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I could, I've never seen this, so you definitely haven't showed it to me, but I I could totally make fun of this.
You could make fun of anything.
I mean, yeah, okay, one can make fun of anything, but like a couple dudes trying to, play grabby hands, tickle butt, like, all over some, glorified playground equipment set awkwardly in front of each other. Yeah, I could see that, being something I could go after.
Hey man, that would be the best game of Tickle Butt Grabby Hands.
Okay,
that
but
I've ever played in
honestly,
my life.
yeah, do you know how fun that would actually be?
Yes.
Dude, even if you don't know anything about parkour, like even if you don't know how to do any crazy stunts, just trying to clamber around on that shit just for fun, like you and me. Like obviously you do parkour. I don't know anything about it, but like that would be so
I would
fun.
freaking Shrek you, kid.
I would kill myself. Though. I would like.
Oh, some
I
people
would
do
try to
wipe out.
dive. Huh?
Some people wipe out hard.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
actually.
why don't you do this? Why aren't you doing this?
Why am I not doing this? Because I don't have a pro parkour team. I'm in Central Illinois. Okay.
Try out.
The only thing around here is corn, and everybody loves it. Oh,
Well, think about it,
people
man.
only like sports.
Okay, but your girlfriend is wanting to get into the medical field. You can do that like
Listen,
anywhere
I'll have
in
my
the
time.
U.S.
I'll
Like,
have my time.
break your
I
fucking
can get
neck,
into it.
and then she can treat you.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
have instant.
Like
I have
those-
instant CPR anywhere.
Like, instant CPR anywhere. Like, I'll be there, she'll get the top, I'll get the bottom. It'll be great.
Wait, whoa.
What? Stop! No.
And then we can debate on who really saved your life. You know? Like...
That sounds like a way better debate. We should do it sometime.
No, but seriously, you should be doing this.
I definitely would be. I would gush at the opportunity. I'd be like, yes. Put me in the game, coach.
Okay, but honestly though, they don't look like they're doing anything.
Okay, it's
They're
hard to tell. So a lot of the times, because the nature of the game is to get to your guy as quick as possible, and certain parkour moves and vaults take time. So what you're going to see most of the time is them doing very, very big leaps and quick turns, slides, and jumps.
Yeah, but like when I see like okay, so look, you know how everybody watches like a fight, a professional fight, and they're like, yeah, I could do that. I know that's gonna sound like that. I'm not saying I would be able to do this very well at all. I'm just saying like a lot of the like just running and jumping on things is like it doesn't look like it's that far past the league of what I used to do all the time.
I think a lot more people could attempt World Chase Tag than, say, like a tricking competition.
Absolutely.
So,
like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
no,
what I
for
mean.
sure.
Is like this doesn't look like what I thought it was you know.
No, that's the thing though. That is what parkour is. It's not as glamorous as everybody thinks. Like parkour is less flashy, and that's why people invented free running to throw flips in there to make it more flashy, especially for film.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there we go. This
yeah,
is what I mean.
parkour is very
Like, cause
functional,
I
and that's what this is. That's what World Chase Tag is.
interesting. Yeah, like if my like for context, I had a bad car accident and my femur snapped out of my leg. But
Bleh.
if I knew for a fact that I could totally handle doing something like this looks like something I could totally uh do, because again, this is like what I used to do, just not probably as fluid, I guess, if that makes sense. Like I could probably work up to that.
For sure.
um Interesting. That's really neat. Okay, yeah, cool. Fascinating.
Yeah, you have been learnt. Yeah, that would
I'm surprised
be
like we've
incredible.
not ever talked about this before.
Well, you make me hesitant to bring things up, Triplex, because you're an angry fucking savage.
Okay, I joke with you. Gosh.
I'm mostly
We
joking too. No,
are
it's never come up in any natural way before, so I've just never thought to talk about
just
it.
to let the
But
audience know,
yeah,
we are regularly, savagely, verbally abused by this man. This is a cry for help.
yeah, and we're actually forced to be here right now. This isn't
This is a
consensual.
cry for help.
No, we spend a lot of time absolutely ragging on each other because it's fun
That's funny.
and because we deserve it. But yeah, no, this is the first time it's really come up in a really fluid way. So yeah, World Chase Tag, it's a fucking thing.
Jeez. So I do okay, before we close out, because I know we're reaching that point, definitely. Actually, I think we're like past it, but when we were originally talking about stopping, but Eli, there was one thing I was going to ask. Do you know anything
I
about
don't know anything.
Excuse me.
the Wonderlands game
Um,
yet? Like,
you can pre-order it. I know that.
I know you can pre-order it, but I don't know anything about it. Like, I guess I
I
haven't been watching anything either.
I haven't been watching anything, but I'm real hesitant to just because of how Borderlands 3 went, you know. So no, I
Yeah.
do not know actually know anything. I'll do some research to figure out what it is about, and that could be a cool thing to play. But I feel like it might, how Skyrim, like OG Elder Scrolls players, played Skyrim and they didn't, like what the fuck is this? So I feel like I might have that issue. Like OG Borderlands fans play, the newer games and they feel like alienated. I feel like that might be a thing, but I don't know. I do not know.
Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, I remember when I found like so um obviously like my wife is now a growing fan of Borderlands. I just didn't expect that, but apparently it's something she got into. And so she was like looking at an article that she had discovered about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands getting made, and she told me about it. And so I mean, we were like really excited about it there for a while. Of course, I've only played like the first two Borderlands games, and no, three, because I played pre-sequel. And since then, though, I've not really paid any attention to the development or news or anything about the game. So fair enough. All right. Well, we can close this down. Um, we're gonna have to figure out like a regular schedule to try to release these.
We'll figure it out.
No figure.
Yeah, we'll post it up when we figure it out. Cool.
Goodbye.
All right. See ya.